there.
How are you, champ?
I'm doing very well, and yourself?
I'm good.
Thoughts, obviously, the first fight was in New York at the Garden, and now you guys are running it back, both being from New York. We just feel this would be a great fight in the tri state area. How's it feel to take it back to Dallas, though?
I mean, it's strange, right? We're both from New York. We're huge ticket sellers, but I'm just grateful to be able to be a part of a tremendous card at this stage in my career. Like I feel like I did so much groundwork for women's boxing, and now the girls are making money, and I'm just kind of sitting here like, what? I gotta have at least one big show, right?
On that note, there are critics that feel like you don't deserve this and that maybe you are too past your prime. What do you say to those people, and how do you reassure your fans that are fans of yours that, you still got one more in you?
I mean, look, my fans are my fans. I don't have to reassure nobody. And so everyone saying I don't deserve it, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on my name. I've been running through this game for a long time. And if you can't look at my resume and tell me that I don't deserve this shot, then you ain't shit. That's how I feel. You don't know shit about boxing. You don't know where I've been, what I've done, how tough I am. I ain't your mama's 40. I might be older than most, but I I ain't your mama's 40. I promise you that.
Plenty still left in the
But
tank.
you believe you deserve it based off being one of the first females, to be kind of in this sport. Like, you just haven't gotten your opportunity at the big stage. But when you think of the critics, they're saying you're getting a shot at undisputed. It's not just a shot at a big fight. It's an undisputed shot at all the belts.
Well, it's like Amanda said, she got her first featherweight title off me. I didn't have to take that fight in 2019. My pride wouldn't let me not take the fight when they called me out. I wasn't up for a challenge, like to defend it. I didn't even have the belt for a year. And besides, who the hell wants to defend their world title against Amanda Serrano? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to do that. But I did that because I knew that fight at the moment was huge for women's boxing on a huge platform, a huge stage. I sacrificed my belt. Like how many bitches would do that? And I did that. And I know Amanda, like, always was in like I'm gonna run this, but you always get a shot to get it back. And this is a good opportunity to do it. I'm coming off 2 wins, changed teams, new coach. I feel great. It's time.
So Amanda is, I don't want to say slowing down, but I feel like she's sitting in the pocket more than she ever has. And I feel like she's being hit more than she ever has. Are you seeing it this way based off her last two performances?
I think that Amanda um, knows that because like the old saying goes, like if one woman fails, they won't say that woman failed; they'll say all women fail. And I think Amanda, being on this tremendous stage, huge fans, lots of eyes on her, she's taking extra chances to make the fights exciting and do what she has to do to make the fans really want to watch them. Like, yeah, you could sit back and box and not get hit, and we all know that people be like, oh, that's how girls fight. We don't want to see girls box. They want bloody wars, and Amanda's delivering.
Now, that's kind of your mindset, and some would say your downfall because you want or do end up in wars. And Amanda's a big puncher, so you said you got a new team. Is the game plan change, or is that just Heather? That's why you're the Heat, because you're gonna bring it.
Well, the game plan changed in the sense that we're correcting a lot of mistakes. My balance, my footwork. I've always been strong and tough. Everybody knows that, but my technique has never been on that level. And we've really spent, like, not just the last couple months talking about the fight, but the last year with Hector Roca, like every day has been to fix technique, to correct, and to make adjustments. So I feel like my overall game is getting better. Y'all already know I'm tough. I don't gotta prove that to nobody, but I'm gonna prove that I belong on that stage. That's for sure.
There's phrases in life, what, fine wine, right? Or
Age
you
like fine wine.
age like fine wine and things like that. Like you said, you gave her first title shot. Um, do
Well,
you
not the
think?
first title shot. At 126. I don't wanna. I don't want it to quote bad. I didn't give her first title shot,
Right,
but
you
this
get
was the first in her run at undisputed at 126.
So, um, obviously now you're fighting her. Do you think it would be your experience? Like, why do you think you'll have the edge the second go around?
I ain't gonna say. How you gonna say that the greatest fighter of all time? You got the edge. I don't feel like I got the edge. I'm the B side. I'm the underdog. I already lost the first one. No one's even expecting me to win. So to me, I'm going in there like, it just is gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight. Like my mentality is different. My heart is different. I don't think I'm better than Amanda, but I think that it's never 0%. You know,
Now
I got just as much a shot as everybody else.
we saw Amanda last in the ring earlier this year against Erica Cruz. Did you watch the fight? And if so, what was your thoughts on Amanda's performance?
I mean, she's a puncher, and I've been in there with her, and I think that anybody can speculate from the outside looking in. Like, people will say, like, oh, Heather Hardy is an easy fight. You know how hard to quit? I don't care how it looks, it's being in there. I know how hard Amanda hits like a man. I got to train with men coming up for this fight just to be ready to stand there. So, and I fought in two sports. That bitch punches harder than some girls kick me. But
Wow.
so you got to take your hat off to Erica Cruz just for hanging in there and doing all those rounds. Getting hit like that.
A lot of people felt that Erica had some success, although a very awkward style, a lot of head down, a lot of, uh, you know what I mean? And a lot of those shots were landing, like a lot of them. Obviously she might have won maybe 2 rounds, but those shots were connecting. Is that something that you look to capitalize off of? Because we know you bring it. We know that you let those hands go, and we saw it in the first
Yeah, it's
fight
like
as
I
well.
said, like my biggest problem in my past fights, my career has been my technique. Like I don't really have that pop in my punch, and I know what they say. They say that punches are born. You can't make a puncher, but you certainly can improve one. And I feel like all the work that I've done in the last year has really changed my style of punching and fighting. I had for years gotten away from that high pressure, high volume, in your face, and kind of switch over to more boxing and movement. And so I'm kind of excited just to see what's gonna come out of me.
Got a couple of questions from the people. I have Tufang, sounds so Dominican. He says, who's your toughest fight till date?
Um, in boxing, definitely would be Amanda. That fight, one slip up could be the end. So the lead up, the fight, the locker room, the ring walk, all that was like. And in MMA, definitely the one where I broke my nose because we was not expecting that girl to be a kicker, and she kicked.
Mm. I
Has
got.
uh,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask. Obviously, having competed in both mixed martial arts and in boxing as a woman fighter, what would you say is the pros in MMA, and what would you say is the pros in boxing? Obviously, you fought Bellator. I think that perhaps women get more exposure in MMA, and that's just not UFC. Like, Kayla Harrison's name was buzzing in PFL, and there was talks of her being the greatest woman in mixed martial arts while she was in PFL. Just some differences from your perspective, having been on both sides of the street.
It's funny when I did my pro debut in MMA for Bellator. We boxed at the Garden, and I remember when they said, "Oh, we had a press conference or a media day or whatever," and they said, "Where do you want us to send the car?" And they said, "What?" And they sent me a car to come pick me up and drive me back, and they gave me lunch money and everything. And I was like, I felt like I'm a real athlete for once. Like Lou would be like, "Put your ass on the train," Like one thing about MMA. It's a lot more professional. Like I feel like an athlete, like an official athlete. They be getting me press and oh Heather, you have interviews lined up this time, this time, this time. Meanwhile, in boxing, I do it all myself.
Wow. Yeah, boxing is the wild, wild west. Heather, I want to ask an entrepreneurial question. I know that you train women and you work at Gleason's, but is managing, maybe promoting? We see Christy Martin. We see Kathy Duva. Uh, obviously Duva wasn't a fighter, but I'm saying females in boxing. And do you see a life after boxing in management?
Or in
Maybe
anything. And
maybe promotion, or commentating? I know you've
Training.
done that, but where would you like to be life after boxing?
I always thought I'd want to be a commentator, and then last week I commentated some fights on Dazn, and I'm just the worst because I'm watching the fights. I'm like, oh shit, did you see that? Like I
Sound
don't do
like us.
I
That's
didn't
how
do
we
real
do
good
it.
at that. I didn't like it at all. I'm like, nah, not the same for me. I mean, management, boxing, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but boxing is such a dirty business. It's such a shady business, and it's the business of dealing with other people's lives and careers. And if I was ever gonna manage a fighter or work in promotions, it would have to be something or someone in my heart that I really want to help and protect, not really join the business to make money off it, because the industry is tough, man. You're dealing with people's lives and livelihoods and doing it all at the expense of making money in your pocket. Ah, I don't know.
But you've come up the hard way, so I'm sure you've had some trials and tribulations and also have learned. So,
Hell
do
yeah.
you think you can guide someone without having them go through some of those bumps in the roads that you went through? Is essentially the way that I look at it. I look at you as a fighter in one of the pioneers in female boxing, so I feel like you would be able to, you know, give them the right
Yes,
path.
like I have one fighter right now who I'm gonna help him get through the amateurs and in the pros, but it's not like standard practice for me. Like I don't love the business of boxing, and it's true. I forgot more about boxing than most people can learn. Like you can't read it in a book. The shit that I know that I've seen that go on behind closed doors. I acted as my own manager for a lot of my career, as you know, not the MMA part, but most of my boxing career. I negotiated this fight um, basically with Amanda. We put it together, so it's like I understand how the money goes, what they use you for. And again, like if I was ever going to do it, it would be because I want to protect someone and not really because I want to make money off the industry.
All right. I got Brew in the 504, New Orleans. He says, what will it take for women's boxing to gain more relevancy?
I think that we're on the upswing, like 2012 was the first year that women could box in the Olympics, and we've done nothing but see women's boxing grow. Like, Amanda and Katie do the main event. Oh, can you hold on one second? Time.
And if you're watching us on YouTube.com, we are joined with Heather the Heat Hardy. She's back.
Sorry.
No
Yeah, I
worries.
think that it just keeps getting better, and the more exposure these girls get on international platforms like the Olympics, the Pan Am Games, stuff like that, they're getting noticed by promoters, being, headlining shows, headlining big cards, co-headlining big cards. I mean, I feel like women's boxing is in the right way. We're just still growing and expanding.
And the last one comes from Mr. Adore. He says, if you beat Amanda Serrano, will you continue fighting? And why didn't you fight Sky Nicholson?
Because they didn't offer me enough money for her. And like I just feel like in my career, I'm not ready to go out as somebody's tune-up test check. Like understand, I know the business of boxing. They looking for the 41-year-old to come in against a girl who's an Olympian and pay me dirt money. Like, nah, I ain't going out like that. I'd rather go out on my own. If you ain't gonna give me a world title shot, then I'm happy to just,
Now,
say goodbye.
had the obviously this is a bigger fight, undisputed,
She
everything.
didn't answer.
Oh,
If you win, if you beat Serrano, do you retire into the sunset or do you continue fighting if you beat
I
Serrano?
don't know, man. I always said I'm gonna fight till I don't want to do it anymore. And one of them fighters would be like, "This is my last fight 10 different times." I mean, I can genuinely say I don't know. I don't know.
Real quick, Huang Mancha, $2 super chat says, we love you, Heather.
yes.
Love you back.
Two questions for me. What would you say, from your experience, is the biggest self-inflicted, uh, like pretty much is the biggest self-inflicted fuck up that boxers have? Like, we understand that boxers fuck shit up over for themselves. What would you say that is?
um, Ignorance of the game. You got to learn how money is made and what your role is in the sport. You got to know, am I the A side? Am I the B side? Am I supposed to win? Am I supposed to lose? How much money is this fight worth it to me? You understand? Like if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And you can't go into this kind of career acting like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever my coach says and be ignorant on it. Boxing is not just boxing and winning and fighting. You got to do a lot of little things in between. And if you don't educate yourself and know how to succeed and what you need to do to succeed, and you just trust someone else, you're gonna get your money took,
I
and you could
gotta.
wind up getting
Oh,
used for work.
I just wanted to ask you, did you happen to be at Amanda's last fight? Like, were you there in person?
No, I'm not
Okay.
really someone who goes to fights, and I get criticized for that a lot. And I know that it probably offends a lot of pro fighters because I'm not like one of the girls who's always in the stands. But it's hard, you know. I'm putting a kid through college, and you know, I gotta work. I can't
Nah, for
always
sure.
travel and be
The
places.
the only reason I was asking, I'm just curious if you've seen Sky Nicholson fight. Obviously, you said the money didn't make sense, but I'm just curious what you think of her as a fighter.
I think I never really watched her fight. I mean, obviously on you see like clips and stuff, and she's a up and coming, talented favorite, right? Like she's they're looking to groom her and build her up. So you know, nobody is perfect coming out the gate. You're gonna have little fights that are gonna teach you a lot about yourself as a pro, and she's on the right track. Obviously, in good hands, making money, right?
The reason I said that is because, respectfully, I think you beat her right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? So I was just curious
But
on what you
it's not
thought,
even
what you've seen.
just the money. I'm gonna be real with you. It's not even just the money. She ain't got nothing I want. And for me to get to 126, I basically got to cough up a lung and cut my hair. You know what I mean? Like my ass is thicker than you don't know what right now. So when they be asking me to get to
Word?
126, yeah, I gotta go to church to make 126. So they asking me 5 weeks out. I'm like, I am a fat bitch. I am not killing myself for this penny's money for this bullshit to go in and be some nah. Like it was a lot of things. If she had all the titles and they want to pay me money and get my fat ass down to 126, bet. But she just, it didn't make sense. All the things got to make sense, and just not enough made sense.
Is there any fights at 130 that interest you? Maybe so you could keep your lung?
I really only, I really only just wanted to fight for world titles at this point. You know, like I think I'm beyond the stage in my career where I'm gonna, you know, do little shows or, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it gotta make sense. I'm putting the kid through college. If I'm gonna train, it gotta be for money or something else, endorsements, promotions. One thing you can't say about me is I might be a big dumb fighter, but I know how the game works. Cause I kind of was making it when there wasn't really much to be made. So I feel like now that there's some money floating around, I make the right choices. I can close out my career with a couple good checks.
so I gotta ask. You said you cleaned house. Your trainer was your man, wasn't he?
Yes,
So how clean
not
the house
anymore.
get on
We
both
cleaned the
parts?
whole house.
Oh shit! So he's out all completely. Okay, I'm nosy
Awesome.
like that. You know, I'm
That's
nosy like
right.
that.
It's like, yeah, we broke up and it was the end. But this was about a year ago, and I broke up. We broke up, and I started to train with Hector Roca. And as I'm sure you know, Hector died the beginning of January, so I'm transitioning teams again.
Mm.
Hector left me to another trainer in his will, so pretty much said to this guy like, you have to take care of her for me if I'm not here. So Martin Gonzalez and his son and his fighters. I got all the boys beat me up, and we're gonna be ready. I feel great.
Well, on that note, champ, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. If you can, please give out your social media. For those that aren't following you, can do so. And we wish you the best of luck in your big fight.
Thank you so much. It's great to talk to you. You guys can follow me at Heather the Heat on the gram or at Heather Hardy Box on Twitter. But my Twitter is I always forget about it. Don't forget about that.
All right, catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Heather the Heat. She's scheduled to face Amanda Serrano in Dallas, Texas.
What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1,000,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000,000. And Obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.